Picture this. It's 1880. You want to ship oil across America. You have two options. You use John D. Rockefeller's pipelines, or you use John D. Rockefeller's pipelines. There is no other option. One man, one company, controlling 90% of all oil refined in the United States. Not because he got lucky, not because he inherited it, because he was the most ruthless businessman America had ever seen. This is the story of the Rockefellers, the family that didn't just build wealth, they built a system, and then they made sure nobody could compete with it. To understand John D. Rockefeller, you have to understand where he started. His father was known as Devil Bill, a con man who traveled from town to town selling fake cancer cures. Charming, dishonest, and almost never home. His mother was the opposite, disciplined, devout, and determined to instill those same values in her children. John got both. 16, he left school and got a job as an office clerk in Cleveland. He was meticulous, methodical, and obsessed with numbers. He tracked every penny he earned and every penny he gave to charity in a personal ledger he kept his entire life. He considered the day he got that first job so significant that he celebrated it every single year for the rest of his life. He called it Job Day. That was the beginning of everything. In 1870, Rockefeller formed the Standard Oil Company of Ohio and immediately began doing something nobody had done before at that scale. He didn't just want to refine oil, he wanted to control everything around it. The drilling, the refining, the pipelines, the railroads that transported it, the retail operations that sold it. He was very effective at integrating the totality of oil, its extraction, transportation, retail, and wholesaling. He went to the railroad companies and made them an offer. Give Standard Oil secret discounted rates on shipping, and in return Rockefeller would guarantee them massive, consistent volume. The railroads agreed. Now Rockefeller could ship oil cheaper than any competitor. So he'd approach a rival refinery with two options: sell to him at his price, or watch him undercut them until they went bankrupt. Most sold. By 1880, Standard Oil controlled the refining of 90 to 95% of all oil produced in the United States. In 10 years, one company, near total control of an entire industry. He was so secretive and ruthless that few people knew what he sounded like. Once he made up his mind that he was going to acquire your refinery, you might as well sell it, because it was going to be part of Standard Oil. At his peak, John D. Rockefeller's net worth was estimated at around 1.5% of the entire US economy. In today's money, that's over $400 billion, more than Elon Musk, more than Jeff Bezos, more than any living billionaire on the planet. He is widely considered the richest American and biggest philanthropist in history. But even as a multi-billionaire, he admitted he still occasionally woke up in a cold sweat, convinced he was back to being a poor clerk with a shortage in his accounts. The fear of poverty never left him, and that fear, more than anything else, is what drove Standard Oil to become what it became. By the early 1900s, the public had had enough. A journalist named Tarbell spent years investigating Standard Oil. Her father had been a small oil producer crushed by Rockefeller's tactics. This was personal. She published a devastating 19-part investigative series exposing exactly how Standard Oil operated, the secret railroad deals, the predatory pricing, the systematic destruction of competitors. It caused a national uproar. In 1911, the US Supreme Court found Standard Oil in violation of antitrust laws and ordered it to dissolve. The most powerful company in American history, broken apart by the government. When Standard Oil was broken into 34 separate companies, Rockefeller owned shares in all of them. As those companies grew and competed against each other, his wealth actually increased after the breakup. The government tried to stop him, but they accidentally made him richer. John D. Rockefeller lived to 97 years old, and in the second half of his life, he gave away a fortune as aggressively as he had built one. His benefactions during his lifetime totaled more than $500 million. He founded the University of Chicago. He funded medical research that helped eradicate hookworm disease across the American South. He established institutions that still shape science, medicine, and education today. His son, John Jr., continued the legacy, building Rockefeller Center in New York, funding the restoration of colonial Williamsburg, and donating the land on which the United Nations headquarters now stands. The family that built its fortune by crushing competition spent the next century trying to rebuild the world. Whether that redeems them is a question historians still argue about. But here's what nobody talks about. What Rockefeller did was eventually made illegal. The secret railroad deals, the predatory pricing, the systematic destruction of anyone who competed with him. The government stepped in, broke his company apart, and called it a victory. But look around you right now. Every search you make, Google controls the results. Every purchase you make, Amazon is involved. Every time you open your phone, Meta decides what you see first. They don't call it a monopoly, they call it innovation. Rockefeller just did it so openly that the government had no choice but to act. Zuckerberg, Bezos, Pichai, they're smarter about hiding it, and there's no Ida Tarbell coming to save us. From a con man's son in New York to the wealthiest human being in modern history. The Rockefeller story isn't just about oil or money. It's about what happens when one person decides, completely and totally, that they will not lose. Subscribe for more stories like this.